Well, that's a better backdrop, isn't it? Looks pretty. We've had no internet all day. It came back about half an hour ago. I wasn't really checking. We were watching telly, but I think it came back about half an hour ago. So it disappeared at 10 o'clock. We weren't here. I went out for a blood test and came back to no internet. And I had nothing on my phone. I had no 4G signal, no service. So we felt like cut off again. It's like, oh, we've been here before. Um, Ludo came this morning. He was meant to be coming Friday, but he came this morning, and it all feels like everything's just slotted into place. It was it yesterday that Mark mowed. I know I was telling him what to do yesterday, but he's just spent the week doing stuff without me telling. I know that I was telling him what to do in the garden, but without me telling him what to do, he's just been getting on with jobs that he's needed to do. He's cut back the kiwi, he's cut back the wisteria. He then mowed. He said he was going to mow, and he mowed just out the front because it's not grown enough. But there were loads and loads of plantains out here. So it was beginning to look tidy, and then Ludo said I can come tomorrow, meaning this morning. So he came this morning, and he was here till about 1:30. And when he's here, he really works hard, really achieves a lot. So there's a corner over there by the carport, which I am sure has been caught on camera many a time, that now is just unbelievable. It's just empty, nothing in it. There was a big pile of, I think there was a big old builder's sack. I don't know what was in it. I think it was full of bits of wood, but we don't process the small bits of wood. We just go straight for the big stuff because it's easier for us. So he took all that away, all the rubbish that was around it. There was a rat trap in there. There was a pet bowl in there. Just, I don't know how stuff had ended up in there. At one point, it was covered with one of these plastic tablecloths that had begun to rot away, and he's just cleared it all. And come when we get back, we'll have wood delivered, and we've got another 6 pallets. We've got 6 pallets from last year untouched. We've got the remains of a pallet from the year before, and then there's 6 more coming once we get back from the UK, and that'll fit in there just nicely. But I just can't get over it. So he did that. That wasn't on his list. He had cut back the hedge between us and our neighbour. He'd cut that back when he was here at the end of July, and he was taking that to the déchetterie. He did 4 trips to the déchetterie, and then he still had a big pile in his trailer. And he said that the déchetterie in San Savan is full now, so he was going to take it down to where he lives near Latu. But it was like this, and I was thinking, I hope he straps it down a bit, because it's, Latu is a good half hour from here, whereas San Savan's not so far. So he did that. He cleared all of that area. I mean, you won't know what I'm talking about, but there's another area down towards the chickens on the far, as you're going down on the far left, that was also full of rubbish and a big piece of plastic that was buried in the ground, plastic sheet. Cleared all of that, and we went down to have a look and see what he'd done. And I said to Mark, just pick up that. There was a blue bit of plastic and a bit of broken plastic pipe. And I said, and pick up the baler twine. There's always baler twine. Wherever you look, there's bloody baler twine. I picked up some baler twine and pulled it, and it was attached to 2 long bits of chain. So we're still picking up rubbish that was dumped there by the person that lived here before us, who shall not be named. And I said to Mark, if we had been younger when we came, if we had been a lot younger, we would have cleared all of that, but we haven't done. So there's always stuff being turned up. 19 years on, there is still stuff being turned up that was not our doing. So that's all clear. It looks like, we've been taking care of the place, which is shocking. And then he came into the back garden, took away all the bits and pieces that were on that final pallet. The other people came the other day and took the free wood. He's taken away, I think that was wood as well, and the two pallets, and it's really messy there in front of that. He trimmed all along um, the garden part, if you could call it that, where I'd planted lavender that was really overgrown by the gate. Um, he's trimmed a lot of that, but he's talking about coming back in winter and running his rotavator over it. Well, I don't think he'll be able to do that, but he plans to. I think we've got such a lot of bedrock here. I doubt that he'd be able to go very deep with a rotavator. But anyway, he's talking about rotavating it, and then we can put seed down, grass seed, and make it into grass, because at the moment it's just dust and weed, which is, it's mad. So he did that. So it's all looking. And then he trimmed down the sides of the driveway. Mark hadn't done that when he was mowing. There were long bits, and he said to me, I had wondered whether they were, that it was wild carrot. It has a look of cow parsley, but it's actually wild carrot. So he was telling me, it's wild carrot, and I went, oh, good, I'll go and pull it and eat it. But by the time I got out here, he'd trimmed it all away, so I didn't get any wild carrot, or a chance to test it anyway. So that's a really good job, but it all felt like it had been synchronized by Mark and Ludo. Um, I'm really happy, because it looks as well as it can do under the sort of the conditions that we've been living in the last few weeks. So it's all really dry, but we have got weather coming up, probably the edge of that storm. Is it Storm Erin? I'm not sure. But we've got thunderstorms potentially in the morning tomorrow, and then thunderstorms all day on Friday, and water and rain, and much higher winds, very gusty winds on Friday. So I have to take that umbrella down over there. Mark's put up the rest of the lights. I'll move in a minute and look back at the house. I've turned them on so I can admire them. But when you look when it's darker, when you look back at the house now with these lights, because they are a bit over the top, I suppose, it looks a little bit like a room in here, this pergola, which is nice. Oh, sorry, excuse me. So yeah, no phone signal. That really, really gets to me, because if there's an emergency, I can't do anything about it. We're stuffed. So I've got a phone signal back. We've got internet back. I might try and upload this. You never know. I was going to make one earlier anyway. Um, I was meant to talk to my friend this afternoon, who had fallen yesterday and broke the side of her foot. I was meant to be talking to her this afternoon on the phone, but I wasn't able to because I had no service. So I'll try and talk to her tomorrow. So yeah, that's it really. Oh, that was what I was going to say. When we drove through the village this morning on my way for my blood test, the hirondelle, the swifts, house martins, or whatever you call them, were absolutely loads of them, all flying off of the telephone or electricity lines, and so busy up there, and I could just hear them then, which is what made me think about it. So busy up there, loads and loads of them. Of course, they're preparing to leave, and you always know when they're preparing to leave because they line up on the telephone lines, and it's a bit depressing, really. It's like, oh, they're going. That means autumn's on the way. That means winter's on the way. I don't know how far they go. I don't know whether they go to North Africa or whether they go to Spain. I was remembering swifts when we were in Granada, visiting a friend in Granada, and I remember sitting on one of their terraces and watching and hearing the swifts in the evening. I'm thinking, I wonder whether they're always there, whether they move on from there in winter. They might do, because it gets very cold there, because it's in the mountains. So yeah. So they were really busy. And then when I was sitting at the infirmier waiting for the nurse to arrive to take my blood, They were busy out there as well, really busy, loads of them. So it won't be long. And what happens is you don't notice. We don't notice because they don't live out here. They live in the village. That's where you find them. You know, we don't find them here. They come over here and feed. But one day you'll go through the village and there won't be any, and it's like, oh, they've gone. But I'm not there to see them go, so I don't know when they go. Gonna change position now. That's the bit that's been cleared. I see that bowl still. There's a couple of bowls still there that I'll pick up. But it's just amazing. Remove that old hose that used to run along the back of the wall and down to the garden at the bottom here and feed into a drip hose. But yeah, it's just, I know it looks pretty rough, but my God, it's a lot better than it was. So there's the lights. It's a bit light at the moment, so you won't see them as they look when it gets darker. Unless I pause this and wait, I could do that. That tablecloth still looks crooked to me. I know it's not that important, but you know, it's those little things that I notice. Yeah, so it's looking tidier. Kiwi, wisteria. So I didn't sleep that well last night. Oh, I talked a couple of days ago about ibuprofen. Did I talk a few days ago about ibuprofen and acid reflux? Reflux? I might not have done. Um, yeah, go away. Go further back. I probably 3 days ago now, or even more, I stopped taking ibuprofen because at night I'm getting really uncomfortable acid reflux. And when you get acid reflux, it actually gets you coughing, makes you cough. Um, so I had a look online to see what the causes are, and one of them was NSAIDs, which are non-steroid or thing, and one of them is like aspirin or ibuprofen, and I had been taking ibuprofen maybe a couple of times a day or once a day, depending on how I am. So decided I needed to stop. They'd said to me all the time in the pharmacy every time I buy them, especially if I buy them when I'm picking up my prescription, you know, you shouldn't be taking them with that. And I go, I know. But it was what I would take in between taking paracetamol. It's like, you know, one or the other when I needed to. And so I stopped. And it's made a big difference. And the other thing I started doing was drinking ginger tea, and that has made a big difference. I'm reasonably comfortable at night, but last night I forgot the ginger tea, and I wasn't comfortable, and so I didn't sleep so well. So I've had ginger tea this afternoon. I'm gonna go and make another bit of ginger tea now. I came back from the UK the year before last. I'd ordered a load of spices to go to Phil's, and in that pile of spices was dried ginger. And I've had it was quite a big bag, and it's been in a jar for ages, and I haven't really known what to do with it or how to use it. And actually, it's quite easy, really, because it's pieces of dried ginger. It's not ground dried ginger. Um, so I had a look to see, you know, well, what do I do with it? Well, you can grind it up, you know, and put it in curries and stews and things to add some intensity, and I can do that. But I'm using it to make tea, which and I use teapots. I don't use mugs anyway. Um, so I pour hot water on it, and you're meant to leave it to steep for about 20 minutes, I think. And it looks like when you're pouring it that you're just pouring hot water into a cup. But actually, it's quite pleasant. But that's really helped. And I didn't drink it last night and was uncomfortable. So I'm going to hope that tonight I'll be more comfortable. I went to bed this afternoon once Ludo had gone because I was so tired. I went to bed and I've slept for 2 hours. So I probably don't stand a chance of sleeping tonight. So yeah. Anyway, um, I'm not going to keep, if I leave you on pause, this will turn off anyway. I don't think it will last another, I don't know, half an hour until it gets dark. So I won't leave you on pause, but I might show you another time when I think about it. It's come to the right. It's the wrong season, isn't it, to have your terrace lights on or your pergola lights on. But next year. And they look nice now, but it'll be good to have them on next year. Okay, thanks for watching, and thanks for your comments. David, you've just said something, and I saw it as I was coming out to vlog, and I can't remember what it was now. Oh, something about the man in the garden doing as he was told. Reminded you of jobs that needed doing. Well, I've just done that again, haven't I? Talking about the jobs that Ludo's done. Sorry about that. Not. Bye.